to ask you, where's that young man?
All right.
Okay. How y'all doing?
What's up?
Okay, all the way out there in Midtown, all the way out there in Houston, Texas area, all the way out there. I don't know where Charlie Brown is. He might be anywhere. All them crosses back there. I'm hoping he in heaven.
He in the blessed fifth
Not
district.
dead, but just living his good life. That's heaven on earth. Um, so glad to have y'all here tonight. And what you got your hand up for, Charlie? Hello, boys and ladies. It's good to see y'all. Listen, I just want to ask the viewing audience, thank you for tuning in. Please call a cousin or call a friend, a several friend. Share. We are here for one reason, to give you great information so it can turn to knowledge. Sonia, you look wonderful. Beauty is untouched by the late evening, I want you to know.
Thank you. I'm
Every
why
you tell every woman that. I feel a lot better when I see you. And again, please share. And Robert, as always, what a wonderful background.
Isn't it right?
You must be running for something in the 5th district. I'm so happy in Savannah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I want to thank you, Mr. Chewy's Hall, for letting me share that. You don't know how it make me feel so wonderful to sit on the same panel with you. Sometimes I don't know what to do. I just feel like running around and thanking God. That's why the crosses are behind me.
Thank you, Lord. That's all I can say is for saving that scoundrel.
And
Saving
now, Lord, redeem this young man. He called me a scoundrel, and he know I'm not. But go ahead.
I say saving that scoundrel. So one day you will all be able to hear your trial sermon.
Yeah.
When is that?
Yeah, I don't know when it's going to take place because I've been down to the valley, and the valley was so low till a snake couldn't crawl on his belly.
Where's that young producer at? He want to get paid on Friday, but he don't even know to put the stroll up. He don't know to put anything up, but he want to get paid.
Who trained him?
The
person that trained him should be cited at this point.
No.
The worker is only as good as the training.
Come on,
no,
man.
Not with these kids today.
No,
not with these kids today.
With
you train them today, they forget it tomorrow.
I taught my son how to put up blinds on yesterday, and he put up all my blinds.
Wow. And then he probably can't go put them up tomorrow, though.
It's okay, but he put them up today.
Well, he was good the other day when I was training him. But where is he at right now? He's not even in there. He's trying to fake me out. See, I tell you, these kids think you're stupid. He's trying to fake me out so that
call
he
him on the
can
phone.
pay.
Call him on the phone. We gotta call him and see what
First of all, you have to be a good coach.
There's no reason why he shouldn't be operating and engineering this show right now. He's in the studio. He's back there.
Well, you have to be a good coach, Julius. See,
I did that.
Hold on.
Well, you have to be a good coach, a good trainer. You got to be good.
First of all, share. You know, I'm gonna do like Roland Martin. Roland Martin used to come on 5 minutes before, and all he does is he show the intro. He shows the intro for 5 minutes. It's a countdown, 5 minutes countdown, getting ready for the show. And while we doing that, that's when we can be sharing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So y'all need to be sharing the show. We're gonna start doing that so that everybody can share, because ain't no reason why everybody that you know shouldn't be watching you right now.
Well, I share mine. Yeah. I'm gonna be doing it.
Charlie Brown is a dinosaur, so we know that he don't have any friends that are alive today. You know, so we give him a pass.
Right. That's discrimination.
Don't agree. Don't agree with him.
But Julius,
you don't have to be so. What's the word? So mean
rude,
to me, Julius.
So nasty, so rude, as Nene would say.
Listen, I'm not mean to that guy. That guy knows that every day I don't even function right until I talk to him in the morning.
No, the way you treat me, Julius. God is looking at
God is not pleased.
Not pleased.
Not pleased.
Right.
Matter of fact, hold on.
Oh, you ready for your trial sermon now, Charlie? You got people that's gonna be in there saying, You tell them. Yeah.
I want to know, where's Bernard Brown? If Bernard is not going to be here, we need to find a replacement. And who else? Dr. Jamal. We need his presence. He can lead, make some cameos. We know he's a special guest that he come and go because he have his own show. And Bernard have his own show, but Bernard is supposed to be a regular. And he show up when he wants to show up. I think you need to renegotiate his contract. Personal.
Yeah. Bernard talk all week, and he talk about all the stuff he gonna say and all the stuff he gonna do, and then we don't see him. Where's Tiffany? Tiffany supposed to have been on the first one on.
Yeah, I just talked to her not too long ago.
Yeah.
What seemed to be her problem? We only come on once a week for 2 hours. And I'm saying it's so important to bring what's going on in their part of the country, this part of the world, to inform our viewing audience. We have the #1 show, and the viewing audience made it just that. And we thank them. So we're going to give them the best and the highest quality.
Yes.
Actually, the
Charlie is playing the Roger Dangerfield card. No respect.
Well,
actually,
Ivan is a good person, and he realized what happened because he know I get no respect. I mean what I say.
Now where's the engineer? Y'all taking up for me.
Listen,
y'all see why I'm so hard on these kids?
No,
y'all see why I'm so hard.
Well, next week we're gonna do it from you. See, everybody ain't ready to work from home. He's just not ready to work from home. So he just come out to the studio and do the work at the studio.
You must be gonna bring him and take him home.
Mr. Brown, you're gonna pick the brother up.
All these ideas you got.
I might do it because the brother gonna do some work for me, so I might look out for him.
Evidently, Robert know how to delegate, and I like that.
I don't mind cussing these children out. That's the thing.
That's what I do. You tried to stop me a few minutes ago.
I don't mind cussing them out because, matter of fact, before we got on there, I had to tighten them up. So yeah.
And then the other one, she calling me, telling me, "Can I get some money to eat?"
No.
Come to work. Come to work,
Julian. But I'm gonna tell you what I'm concerned about. There she go.
Tiffany, they were talking mad crap.
There she go. Tiffany, how are you?
You muted.
I'm doing good, family. How y'all doing?
What's up, girl?
Sorry I'm late. I'm trying to get my house in order.
I'm doing. Go ahead, Tiffany. I'm doing a lot better since I see your wonderful face.
Oh my gosh!
Well,
I saw that.
You use the same one with everybody.
No. I saw that picture of you endorsing Robin, and I'm telling you, that was a sensational picture. Beauty is untouched at all given time of the day, not just in the afternoon. I want you to know I was real pleased with it. And I'm happy to have you here tonight. And you try to be here more often, please, because all we asking you for 2 hours, once a week, that shouldn't be too much cross the bear, I hope.
No, it's not. It's not. I just, I got a lot of kids. And so,
Yeah, and a lot of responsibilities. We get it. We get it, girl.
And I would like to offer to add on to what Mr. Charlie watches, to piggyback on what Charlie Brown said. It's important to have a woman's perspective. It really is.
All right, all y'all out there watching, share. I just got a call just now. That's why I was muted. And we have somebody that want to come on and talk about his being so disrespected at the council meeting the other night by Dr. Shabazz. He said Miss Shabazz, and she said doctor. So he's called in, and he's sending me his email so that he can tell us about that incident.
Can I say this? Let me tell the truth about the doctor. Okay. Let me go ahead and tell the truth about, back when she got that doctorate, they were paying people to go and get their credentials. Okay. So I want her to stop with this ruse that she actually, and she's not a doctor in anything but theology. Anybody can preach. I can preach without being a doctor. But you know what? I got my doctorate in human management and nonprofit management. So when you go and get your doctorate, get it in something other than basket weaving. How about that?
Chandra, can I add this? Can I piggyback? Chandra, that's my new word, piggyback.
Go ahead.
I said this earlier. The one thing about it, because I carry a Doctor of Philosophy from the University of Georgia. However, I rarely ever use a title. I don't even allow my students to use it. When I was at Georgia Perimeter, they would call me Director Brian. I'm always Robert. I'm going to tell you why. People need to be able to access you, feel comfortable talking to you, wanting to approach you. I'm all about that. And no way did God give us these gifts to belittle people. God gave you gifts to do the good work and to go out and be profitable and to help people. So when you start wearing your title, I don't agree with that, but that's not my style.
Exactly. And let me piggyback on that.
Go ahead, Cassandra.
It's just like when they had that church and they only had 5 members. And 4 of them was the children. Okay. I give my time to Sean. Go ahead.
Okay. No, Sean.
No, I'm just coming in. I don't even know.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You got a little intro. Sean, you got a little intro. Go ahead. Y'all come and be quiet. And Sean, you got a little intro. Go ahead and give us a spill.
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
welcome. I am happy to be here from beautiful Midway. I was up on the roof all day, a little dehydrated. So I'm trying to put some, electrolyte back in my system right now.
Yeah.
So
well, Sean, it's good to have you. And my concern, what she said was out of character. When he said whatever her name was, I think he called her Shabbath, or he might have called her Estella. Estella is her name. Right. All I'm saying, she did not have to say it's doctor because it's wrong.
Mr. Brown.
Well, we got him on the phone. If y'all can see, hold on, Robert. We got him on the phone. Yeah, if y'all can see, that's him right there, and he'd like to give y'all his perspective. Go ahead, Mr. Fields.
How you doing?
We're good.
Shabazz, her title is more important than the people of the citizens' concerns. And she was very upset because I did not address her by doctor. And I refuse to, because right now, the people in the 5th district property is at stake. She voted for the taxes to go up 3 times. We have the elderly who receive Social Security. They're going to have to make a decision between taxes and having a place to stay.
Wow.
So she's making decisions, personal decisions to get for self-gain and not for the people.
Wow.
So she's very upset because I did not address her as doctor last night.
And she has a doctorate in theology from where at, Sandra? Where's her doctorate at?
An online school. And
she had to answer was some Bible questions?
Yes. And I can tell you the person that actually did her schooling for her, if y'all want me to bust them out like that, because they were being paid. They got paid over $10,000.
Oh, really?
And I got receipts. Now she don't want me to tell.
Don't do it, Mabel.
They don't want me. They don't want the people in Savannah that got all of these doctorates and doctorates online, when other people were sitting in their classes for them, don't want me to tell the story.
Wow.
Okay? Because that's a whole other saga, and some people would go to jail.
I wanna first and foremost say I want to thank the gentleman who came on and expressed that doctor's not more important than the constituent, and it shouldn't happen that way. If he'd have called her Shabazz, she should have went ahead and answered the question, because the question was, he was concerned about the 5th district. You need someone to represent the people and not the title. I am concerned about that. If we don't remember in November, I fought you, because we need good leadership in that position. And we won't get good leadership if you listen to the guy we got on our show. Charlie Brown believed.
Hold on. He's talking.
When Shabazz comes to the community meetings, she's black. But when she goes downtown, she turned another color.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Listen, Jesus. So let me offer this, y'all. Here's the question. Here's what really made her angry. When constituents ask you, what have you done in 12 years? And you can't answer that, you get mad. But what she does, and see, I had to drill her last night because when you come for the constituents, I'm coming for you, Estella. I promise that. You're not gonna come for the constituents because I'm coming for you. But when you have done nothing but told Keisha and Alicia's accomplishment as yours, I don't blame the man for questioning you. Tatumville has been waiting for cameras for what, over 12 years. You can't even produce a piece of camera. Come on now. I don't blame the man for asking her. So you get mad.
Got Robbie Robinson Park named today.
And Linda botched that mess. That looked a mess. But you know what? It's time for another Robert to be in that 5th district seat.
And you know what you Park not named Cam Park not named Robert
Robbie Robinson.
Still Cam Park. They just put a marker in the middle of the on the side.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. But the park still is Cam Park.
Still Cam Park. Linda Wild Woman Bryant kind of got that together.
What and if they address her as Councilwoman Shabazz, that is calling her by her title that they want her to use. See, we don't need you to use your theology title. We don't need no prayers over our taxes. We need you to speak up for our district, which you have not been doing. How about that?
I think that if she wants to use the doctor title, the community is sick and she needs to heal it. You know, if you're a doctor, then heal the community. The sickness in this city, in this county. If you're such a doctor and you want to be referred to as such, then heal the city.
No, you need to stop. What you need to do is start with city council. All the sectors on city council.
That's what
she don't need to worry about. She don't need to worry about the county and the city. She need to right at home where she sit at, right to her left and right to her right.
Exactly.
Mr. Brown, one of the things I realize about communities and organizations and families is when you have a dysfunctional parenting system, which I come from a very functional parenting system. My parents were wonderful. So I don't understand that. But when you come from dysfunctional families, you get dysfunctional children. Downtown City Council has a bunch of dysfunctional people.
Yes.
When you have dysfunctional people, you have a dysfunctional organization. So it's 5 people starting at the mayor who need to be replaced so that we can function this city the way it should be. And that is for the people. And I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. Your property taxes, go look at your property taxes. From last year to this year, they raised by 20 to 40%. That means, like Mr. Kill just said, elderly people are going to suffer. And guess what? They don't even want to roll back the millage rate, which means it's going to increase again next year. So what they're doing, they're going to price us out. But just today, Nick Palumbo gets in the newspaper and said people would love that because guess what? We can alleviate flooding. Nick, they ain't got no flooding in Ardsley Park. I can tell you right now, we got flooding over here that haven't been fixed in what? A dang shame ain't been fixed in 12 years. So you got dysfunctional people, and starting at the mayor to the 5th district and some other ones, y'all got to go.
Right. And Robert, that's what I'm saying. And Robert, that's exactly what I'm saying. I love my counterpart, Julius. He worrying about the city and the people in the county. It's right in the front of her. That's who she need to pray for.
You know, she's a doctor. I want her to do whatever she can to heal whatever she can.
Well,
thank you, Julius.
Well, after they losing all their property over there around the fairgrounds and everything, you know, I want to know if they still feel like she's a doctor.
Chandra, check this out. So you put all them nice, pretty things in that fairground. Do you know that same person, y'all incumbent, does not realize when you put nice, pretty new houses there, it raises property value?
Yeah,
exactly.
You doesn't get that.
Exactly.
You doesn't get it. And I'm like, well, how are you missing that? And you're the incumbent, and I get it.
No, she does get that. And what it is she's getting kickbacks to not get it.
She don't care.
Yeah.
Let's just say she don't care.
And
Mr. Fields.
what's going to wind up happening is all those people, their property taxes go up. They get moved out by gentrification. Mr. Fields, I really feel sorry for you if you live over there, because she is getting paid not to get it.
Son, you're absolutely right.
Hey,
you know what we need to talk about?
Hold on,
we need to
Mr.
talk
Fields.
about the amount
Hold on,
of
Mr.
money.
Fields. Hold on, Mr. Fields.
You need to talk about the amount of money.
Hold on, Mr. Fields.
For instance, the mayor got $351,000 in his campaign coffin. And guess what she got? She got over 100,000, I think, if I'm not sure. Robert, how much you have?
Oh, I seen them, but guess what? They're from construction companies and developers. Why does construction companies and developers give you money to campaign? Because they're buying your story behind.
We're going to give Mr. Fields the last word on this.
Go ahead, Mr. Fields.
What I wanted to say is that when you start accepting gifts and money from people, they own you.
That's right.
You cannot make a decision for your constituents or anything. Those people who gave you money own you.
Okay.
Unfortunately, her whole family.
They expect something in return.
That's right.
Yep.
That's what Charlie Brown was saying today.
Yeah.
Mr. Fields, we appreciate you calling in and telling us your perspective, telling us how the councilwoman disrespected you because you called her by her name instead of calling her doctor. And she only has a online degree that a fifth grader could have got. So we appreciate you coming in and saying that.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, sir.
In the future as well.
We expose everything on this platform.
Appreciate it very much.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right.
We expose everything on this platform just to give y'all if it's credible, we're going to talk about it. I know we got people mad at us all about Cat and everything else, but I got a letter in the mail.
Right.
So
I hope it didn't have white powder in it.
If it's credible, we feel that it has some validity to it, we're going to talk about it. If you don't like it, we don't care.
If you don't like it, you don't like it.
Right.
If you don't like it, we
Here
don't
he is.
Report.
Here he
We are
is.
here to report.
We're here.
Julius and the rest of the panel, follow the money. They're
That's
getting
it.
too much money.
That's it.
A mayor in a town this size should not be having $351,000. That's getting close to $500,000. And guess what? When you give a person that kind of money, they want something for it.
Absolutely.
Who will give you that kind of money and not wanting something for it? You tell me now on the show.
And Mr. Brown, he got 351 now. Check out how much he already spent.
Oh, he done bought. He done bought.
Hey, Sean.
The gentleman
Sean,
from
go ahead.
Sean,
Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
Let me put it like this: the people can't afford to pay him that much money. That's his for his campaign fund. You understand? The people the people that he needs to be out there helping can't afford to put that money in his account. You understand? So he's campaigning. The people that's paying him, that built up that campaign fund, they want him to vote their way.
Right.
Right? The people he need to be helping can't afford to help him to put money in his account. You know, it's it's crazy because
Sean, we real, and you're absolutely right. But I'm saying, follow the money. A mayor in a town this size shouldn't be having $500,000. That's too much money, and you gotta pay for that money. Now I'm gonna let my friend in Athens kick in Help us out on that, please.
That's right. Thank you, Charlie.
You are absolutely right, Mr. Brown. Once they give you money, there is something attached to that money, and I can guarantee you, whether they come to collect now or later, the fact that they gave you anything, they're gonna hold that over your head. One thing that I do not do, even in the nonprofit sector, is integrate my political status with my nonprofit status, because what'll end up happening is, okay, you gave me this donation for a uniform drive, but when we go back to my commission, you're gonna want a favor.
That's right.
And you know what? Because you gave me that money, you're entitled to think that now she's gonna do what I asked her to do because she was able to give children uniforms. So no, ma'am, no sir, no ham, no turkey. We don't do that.
Charlie, let me offer this. Hold on.
I mean, y'all.
Let me say this. Go ahead. Well,
Roger Moss got $200,000.
Check this out.
By some people that were putting in illegal amounts of money into those campaigns. I think they were. I don't know what kind of PACs they were, but the names didn't have PACs by them. If you can only, I saw one on Van Johnson's reportables last night where somebody gave a citizen gave $3,300. You can only give $300. So, you know, we got to watch who's pouring money into these races because they're trying to influence it because they know that if they can influence those people, then those people can give them access to having generational wealth.
Absolutely.
You know, let me say this, Chandra. You do know the incumbent got a significant gift from an attorney who was vehemently against the weeping time. So the incumbent is basically turning her back on weeping time, but you got to follow the money. See, that's my problem. You will never see me take any money from anybody that's going to desecrate our community, and you will never see me take money from anybody that's going to control me. Because
that's
the God
right.
I serve and these parents that built this house, baby, I don't bow down to nobody. I don't get on my knees to nobody. So
Sandra, go ahead, take it.
You want to put somebody off, and that's called ethics and morality.
Hello.
Yep. This is just like being a prostitute saying I took $1,000, but I didn't have sex.
Break it down, girl.
And we are seeing this from our community leaders on up to the Supreme Court in getting favors and saying, oh, but I didn't know that they wanted something from me, from all these high price, you know, things that I was accepting from them. You know, they sent my godson or my stepson or whatever the son was, you know, all the way through college, but I didn't know they wanted anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Liar.
That devil is a big liar. And he
John, go ahead.
Okay. Back to a Bumpy Johnson. Would y'all take money from a Bumpy Johnson per se? You understand? Like
I wouldn't take money from a Bumpy Johnson, but I will partner with a Bumpy Johnson to do what's best for my community. If he wanted to pay out of his pocket, that's fine. Because what I'm doing on my end has nothing to do with how he received his money. But the fact that he cares enough about his community to want to partner with me and contribute to me because he sees what I am doing is totally different from him giving me money and me doing it for my community and waiting for said Bumpy Johnson to come back and be like, hey, you remember when I gave you them stacks? Well, now I need you to help me get this land. That's a no-go.
Right.
I like to interject for a minute, and I'm going to say this. All money is not good money.
That's
so
right.
You got to be careful with the money you take, because all money, one more time, ain't good money. And I'm saying be careful.
And I just want to close out on this subject, you know, those guys that they're getting all this big money from are just as dangerous as a Bumpy Johnson.
Yes.
They just haven't gotten caught. They do all kind of illegal things and just haven't gotten caught. That's all it is. So you could take that money from Bumpy Johnson, because I'm sure Bumpy ain't gonna put Bumpy Johnson on it. And you, what you trying to do is you ain't finna get Bumpy Johnson. Ain't nothing you can do for Bumpy Johnson. You ain't in the courts. All you can do is say, okay, I'm gonna take this money and try to make this community better, even if it means ridding it of Bumpy Johnson. You know? So
but Julius and Charlie, I want y'all to explain something, because people, when I tell them this, they get so upset about dark money. See, people, when we say they're getting bought out, they don't get what I'm saying. Could y'all to explain that? Because y'all could probably do it more eloquently than I would. But people get this dark money, and so people don't understand that. Well, they can't really give dark money. Yes, they can. So if y'all two could explain it, y'all know better than I would.
Julie, you want to take it, or you want me to?
No, you go ahead, Mr. Brown. I'm going to put up.
Okay. The dark money is that it's normally it's in cash or gifts or things of that nature, and a lot of people call it soft money because soft money is not reported. And that soft money, when they start accepting soft money, what take place? You owe them really big. You pay me now or you pay me later. And the way that works, Robin, is that if I come to you and I give you $10,000, I want some for that $10,000. I'm not giving you that soft money and not looking for something. You might be naive enough to believe I'm not going to want nothing. But if I give Sonia that, or I give Tiffany that, I'm coming knocking in the night about 3 a.m. in the morning on the door. And I'm going to knock quietly. Not a hard knock where the neighbors can hear me. Because I didn't give you $10,000. I want something. Tiffany, you looking at me and you know exactly what I want. So don't be so naive and say when I get there, oh, wow, you here 3 a.m. in the morning.
The sign contract. You there to sign some contracts.
Okay. Exactly. And this is a shameless plug for Julius Hall, that Julius in his new book can tell y'all about dark money, undercover money, behind
soft money. It's called soft money.
Yeah. He can tell y'all about everything it is before you go to federal prison. So,
man, that's a good one. That's a good one.
You made a plug for my new book?
Yeah.
It's not out yet. It's not out yet.
Wow.
I can't wait. I'm hyping you up, man. I'm hyping you up.
It's not out yet. It's being edited.
I am hyping you.
Amen.
And listen, I know we've had to change the subject, but I'm going to Julie's book for a minute. I read about, I guess I read about, what, 20 pages in it? And I turned to him because he was in the automobile with me. And I said, you say that to that man's wife? He said, yes, I did. That book.
I don't even know what it is, but I believe it.
Robert, be quiet when I'm telling the story right quick, okay? Still. That's why you take Rattling. I'm trying to say.
I ain't moved all night.
And listen, when I read that, and I said, did you say that to that man? He said, yes, I did. Tiffany, you got to get a copy of that book.
It's
a great book.
And I saw it before it was ever.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. So, and I'm going to tell Julius, every part that Tanya says take out, I would say leave in, because this one's fail for.
She watching the show, I'm sure. And I'm sure she gonna call you tonight and tell you, don't you encourage him to leave that stuff in. I got so many yellow. See this marker in there? I got so much. My publisher done told me to make sure I get it. See, I got a pen and a yellow marker. I got to take everything out that my wife don't want in there.
Boy,
hey, I might can have 2 different versions of it.
Well, let me have the dirty copy before you get it edited. Send it to me.
Boy, I got the dirty copy.
I can know.
I got the salacious copy.
Y'all be called.
You can't do that. Hey, you can't put it out. You're gonna have to put it out under
parental advisory.
A ghost name.
Look,
Yeah.
like
how look, she watching.
Yeah.
I told
I
y'all.
know this how.
Representative Tanya, I'm on your side, Tanya. I'm on Tanya's side. Somebody
I
else
had
on Tanya's
Now,
side.
half of this book was written before me and Tanya. This book was written while I was
I'm on
still
Tanya's
away.
My daddy
I
always
had to
told me
do a
that.
pen name when I published my book. I had to do a pen name when I published my book, and my book was published under Mona Lisa Black.
Yeah, but
Because
I can't use a pen name because it's an autobiography of
yeah,
me.
but mine was
Yeah.
too.
But we don't know Mona Lisa Black.
Well,
but
I'm telling you, I had to put a pen name on it because I didn't want folk coming after me because I put real shiz in it.
Put that
yeah,
cookie
there's
down.
too much stuff in this right here.
Oh my
Go
God.
back and review
Don't you
this.
eat that cookie on this show. Put the cookie down.
It ain't like Fifty Shades of Grey is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to change the subject. But before we change it, I'm going to say this. The name of my book going to be, y'all ready?
What's that?
30 Seconds.
You know what?
I'm done.
Me too. I'm done too.
Y'all untook we ain't even got the general discussion. Y'all untook the open discussion. 45 minutes.
You're on time out. Time out.
I'm gonna read it, Mr. Brown.
No, I want to know about that.
Not 30 seconds.
All right, we got a lot to cover, y'all. We got a lot to cover.
30
Y'all hear that bell right there?
I love that bell. I'm glad.
Miss Sandra, don't you get back
All right.
here, Sandra? Because once you hear that bell right there, that means we need to move on. Y'all need
Okay,
to
got it.
cut that subject. Don't tell me one more thing. You know.
Okay, I got it. I got it.
Okay. Then y'all need to be ready. Okay.
All right. Who we talking?
We got the first subject up. Our main man.
Don't they look like twins?
Hunter Biden.
Hunter
Biden pled guilty today, y'all. Well, yesterday. Hunter Biden pled guilty. And that's him and his dad getting off the plane. But what we want to do is tell Hunter we send you our heartfelt wishes on a full recovery because he was a dope addict.
Oh my God.
You know, you do things because sometimes you do things and it's out of your control because the drugs have all power over you. You don't think so? I never use drugs, but I know people who have. So they have all power over you. Hell, my intern didn't call until the day. I ain't seen him since Saturday. So drugs.
Young brother like that, man. Come on, man.
No, he's just a young adult.
He better not.
I'm trying to get him to stop. So don't tell me to not bother him. I'm getting him to stop.
He'll be I'll be his ass.
He's just a young adult.
I'll put about the young kid.
And you're absolutely right. Because when you're on drugs, the drugs are in control. The drugs are making the demands on you. But if you start following the Republican up, they trying to say what Biden boy did Hunter is compared to what Donald Trump. And the two are completely different. Exactly. And it's no comparison. And the reason they're upset, now they can't keep jumping on Hunter Biden and the laptop. Exactly. See, that have disappeared. And that's what's taking place. But the two are not comparing what he have done and what they charged, what he pled guilty to, can't compare to Donald Trump. That's what I gotta say. Go ahead, Sean, take it.
Okay. I was driving on 95 yesterday in the rain, and I thought about this came across the news, the Hunter Biden story and everything. And I said, the Republicans were trying to up the Trump charge and all this other stuff. And I still say, as a member of the United States military, all right, as a member of the United States military, anybody that's still following that man they need to take away their guns. They're just plain racist if they're still sitting there trying to make excuses for why he would have those top secret documents just lying around like that.
You're right.
Like, you don't know what, I mean, just the placement of hey, this guy is spying in Colombia, you know, in Nicaragua. This guy is a spy in Nicaragua. That just put not only him, but the whole United States, the whole, you know, like the whole country in jeopardy. Right. Sitting beside his toilet in Mar-a-Lago where he have parties and don't care who comes through. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What's very interesting about the whole situation, thank God they changed the code. Whatever the code was, and he didn't know it at one point, we should be blessed because Donald Trump is very revengeful. So he will say and do things and give the code away in a heartbeat because that's the kind of person he is. Yeah. So
that's what I'm saying. He's ready to give up the country. This man is ready to give up the country. Hey, it's time, y'all. It's time. Time for what? Like literally, yeah, we got to think about he announced on Twitter, it's time.
Right.
It's time.
What? Nobody's following Donald Trump because everybody who follows Donald Trump ends up in jail. Donald Trump called for massive protests. Only a few handful of people came out. They do not want to go to jail for Donald Trump. Ain't none of y'all gonna call me out with some stupid stuff and think I'm coming out there with y'all. So Tiffany, don't you start nothing down there and make it.
Hell no, I am. I got a lot to start, but because I have the people's ear and they know that, you know,
they're not following them.
Oh, they gonna follow me.
No, I'm not talking about that.
No, I ain't talking about them. They following him there. They're not following him as far as the stupid stuff talking about coming out and protest. Nobody's showing up for that mess.
Yeah, I saw that. I said he thought he had them, honey. They learned their lesson after June 6th, honey. They think people were gonna get arrested. We coming after everybody, so no, we're gonna stay at home. He crazy.
Exactly.
But the conversation between Joe Biden and his son was, hey, you have to go ahead and get this squashed before my campaign tricks up. Because see, that was one of the things that they were going to try to use against Joe Biden in his campaign. Yep. Even though had Eric or one of his, you know, had Eric Trump or one of the Trump boys or even, you know, just a random, you know, got into trouble that Trump just knew. Trump was going to pardon them before the case even got started, you know, but Biden didn't want to look like that. So he just said, hey, go ahead and plead to whatever it is you need to go ahead and plead to. You know, he pleaded to these misdemeanor charges. Now the Republicans are all up in arms, talking about, oh, that was a sweetheart deal. Man, none of y'all ain't going to jail like y'all need to be.
Exactly.
Period.
The gentleman from Midway.
Did y'all hear,
last word?
Did y'all hear that? Okay, the same thing that Joe Biden did prior to the presidency. That was the big thing. He was out there like, hey, you know, I'm Joe Biden's son. And they giving him positions and stuff like that based on, oh, the president will probably, that man is either going to be president or has the heir to the president. And he was basically getting
clout from his daddy.
Right. The day that Donald Trump got out of office, the day that Donald Trump left office, Donald Trump's son went and made the deal with the Arabs.
Oh, what? That children's son.
The day after he got out of office, Donald Trump's son, and they said that, and they never said it anymore. I mean, like, I find it pretty
I find the whole scenario pretty interesting. And my colleague and my counterpart, who I love to death, Julius Hall, Tiffany come from Clark County, not the city or whatever you name. She come from Clark County, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I'm from Clark County.
Athens.
All right.
Athens, Clark.
And you said another city.
No, he said Macon.
I missed to say Macon, but then I said
okay.
It's a
I don't, I just want to straighten it out. I'm not upset at you. You don't have to wear your feeling on your sleeve. I was just correcting where she was from. That's all.
Yeah, she's from Athens. She's a commissioner in Athens.
You need to ring the bell.
She's the district 3 commissioner. She's the district 3 commissioner in Athens, Georgia. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all.
Get the whistle. Blow the whistle.
Hey, I forgot to tell y'all. There's 2 things y'all got to recognize. Y'all got to recognize this bell, and y'all got to recognize my voice.
Right.
Okay, when my voice is speaking, that means that y'all are supposed to be quiet.
That ain't right. I think this is me. I'm
All right.
with a new show.
All right.
Julius, I want to say this.
What?
Ring the bell on yourself, because it was time to ring the bell. It was time to ring the bell on yourself.
Katanji.
I'm so ready.
Katanji Brown Jackson. That's her husband there. She's a Supreme Court justice. Y'all. And her husband has a slave owner connections. Does this bother you all in any kind of way? That's her husband there. She's a Supreme Court justice, the first Black female Supreme Court justice, and that's her husband there. She's married to a Caucasian, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's who she loves. Nobody got no problem with that.
Julius, can I say that?
As soon as I get to you. But do you all have a problem with that? We'll let you go right now, Mr. Brown, since I called him Mr. Johnson. Mr. Brown.
You called me Mr. Johnson just now. That's okay, but it's Brown.
Don't blame Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie.
Robert, listen. I noticed Clarence Thomas got a white wife. It seemed like all these people who we put in high position, a white person still controlling them. I am concerned about
your vice president.
Because that's correct. Because you have to realize they don't want y'all to be all by yourself. We elect President Obama, which he was half white. I got in a conversation and a white man told me he is not all Black. He's half white. And I said, sir, you're right. So you tell me what Black leader, like a Supreme Court justice, are not controlled by the influence of her husband, and Clarence Thomas are influenced by his wife. We have seen it time and time again.
She looks
so
like
what decisions
I am concerned. Go ahead, Tiffany.
What decisions have she made as Supreme Court judge that would make you think that she is controlled by her husband, who is a descendant of a slave owner?
No. I'm not saying. I'm sorry if I meant control. I say influence, because I'm influenced by my wife. I am. So some of the decisions I make, it comes from my wife too. And she's sleeping with him every night in the same house. I'm not saying he's controlling her, but he will influence her. That's all I'm saying.
So how do we know?
Oh, go ahead, Tiffany.
How do we know that Ketanji's Brown husband isn't as pro-Black as she is, even though he is a Caucasian?
That's correct. We don't know. That's why we're asking the question. And Sandra, do you think? I mean, it doesn't make a difference to me, but just give us your opinion.
Well, I have 2 opinions. They leaked this because she's a Democrat, and they wanted to show that, she's dealing with a former slave owner's, descendants. So they wanted to show embarrassment to her.
Discredit also.
But nobody has said Jenny Jenny from Clarence Thomas's crew looks more like a current Karen and a slave owner to me. Okay.
She is a slave owner. She got clearance.
Okay, that part.
Wow.
So, and you tell me how many, white people that have been here and have descendants, that started back here during slavery times, didn't own slaves.
Yeah. Well,
so that's that part. So we all, if you dating a white man today, trust me, he has the propensity to call you the N-word.
Well, it seems like it's a prerequisite for being in these high positions, like Charlie said. And we accept it. They choose these people because it's more acceptable for both sides to get them selected and to get them nominated and approved. So we got to look at that. I don't know what we can do about it except voice our opinions, probably sometimes against it. It seems like she's a great judge, but I don't have an opinion. I do have an opinion. I don't care about it except because a lot of people are from slave descendants. There are a lot of people are white people are slave descendants. But as long as he's not treating her like his slave, I'm okay with it.
But I'm gonna let Sean. I'm gonna let Sean take this. I'm gonna let Sean take it. But please hear me out. The only thing I'm saying, I know I'm repeating myself, is that the influence is still there. She can't help when she go home sometime and talk to him about certain decisions, and he will say, "Baby, I don't think you should go that route because of so and so." He is in her ear night and day to a degree. And I am concerned about that part on some of her
because he's white?
I think
Go ahead, Sean.
I think that the best relationships are based on being able to come home and talk about it. Being able to have your own opinion. And I stick with my opinion. Hey, at the end of the night, it's hey, are we gonna kiss and make up? It has nothing to do with us. It has to do with me and my nappy hair and you and your straight hair. It has nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with.
No, I don't know exactly what you're saying.
I'm saying. I'll offer this, Sean. When she makes a decision on reparations, when she makes a decision on race admissions and higher education, when she makes decisions on that, that's when that shows up. Just because, and I'm not making a pass for the gentleman, just because his ancestors did this does not mean he subscribes to it.
Exactly.
So distinction there.
Hey, look, he might be in that much of, he might have known and just like Prince Harry, been like, you know what? I am in so much remorse. I am so taken back that I'm gonna show my family. I'm gonna go against the grain, just to show my family I'm not for that, or I'm not with that, or I'm not whatever. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That might be the stand that he took. He might have known because his daddy probably told him, you know, hey, a man ain't a man until he split ebony oak. You know how you used to
what? Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that just took me out. Ebony oak.
I never heard that. That was the saying that Buck Rock used to have to say. I mean that was the saying with Buck Rock. It was
Julie, before we go on, I want to say this. It is sad. It is real sad because we as black men end up marrying the bottom of the barrel, and all the white men married all our top people and key people. We get the fat white women. I'm not talking about fat. I'm not gonna say that. I just say,
Mr. Bird, I say that. Say it again. Say it again one more time for the people in the back.
I want to take that back. I didn't mean to say that. I'm just saying we don't marry up. We married all the ones that they don't want, and they married all the ones to stay in the black community. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Because Clarence Thomas was
Kim
ugly.
Kardashian.
Clarence
Black
Thomas,
men marry
Clarence
women
Thomas-
that they think that they can control sometimes.
yeah, Clarence Thomas was ugly and he married an ugly woman. Clarence Thomas is
Exactly. And they probably had ugly
I
kids.
mean, I'm just telling the truth. Y'all don't like the truth, damn it. I don't care.
If you don't like
That's
it,
right.
you don't like it.
Robert, you do this about everything I say. Damn it. Yeah, I'm telling the truth.
We
Clarence Thomas ugly, married an ugly
Yeah,
woman.
ring the bell.
Clarence Thomas is the biggest disgrace to the black community in the world.
I
There's
agree.
never
And
been
it's a
a
winner.
bigger traitor in the world than Clarence Thomas.
I agree.
Ever
I
in
agree.
history. I'm ashamed to say that he's even from Savannah,
He
Georgia.
from Pinpoint. He
Clarence
from
Thomas
man.
is a disgrace and
Yep. And-
deserve whatever he get from it.
And I see the black men in Texas all the time walking with these little fat behind white women and
They thick.
and the
They
Mexican
thick.
women that
They
can't
thick.
even speak English.
Well, ain't
So,
nothing wrong with
that's
that.
that
who he
part.
loves.
No, they ain't fat. It's
That's
called
who he
thick.
loves.
You got the
Karen-
wrong terminology. It's called thick.
No, they
Charlie.
fat.
Karen and Becky.
No, they
is pretty
fat.
good.
They
They
fat.
thick, Charlie. Come on now, get your terminology right.
No.
Karen and Becky pretty good.
And they paying for the food.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And they paying for the food. Child, please.
And down at the
Get
barbecue.
your life.
Oh boy, I tell
You
you.
ring the bell now, Jew.
Hey, well, we and the last thing on this is we just need to be worried about the present day slave owners. Don't worry about the past. We need to worry about the present day slave owners. See, because the present day slave owners are the ones who still have most of us in shackles, whether it's
Hey,
mentally
come on now.
or physically or monetarily. They have us in shackles. So those are the ones that we need to be worried about. I have no problem with Ketanji Brown Jackson's husband, none whatsoever. You know, he can't help who his grandparents and great grandparents were. My problem is with the present day slave owners. Okay.
And Julius, I know we're going to another subject. Like I say, I wasn't worried about it. I was just saying his influence are still in the air, and that's all I was saying on certain subjects. That's all.
All right. Well, we're gonna go to a commercial before we go to that, and we got 2 commercials that we're gonna play, and y'all just stand by, and we'll be right back.
Arguing a point, considering whether we will have the Salvation Army place a structure on land that should be set aside because of what happened there. It should be as important for us to set aside this land as any land that's been set aside on earth as a result of human suffering and man's inhumanity to man. No one would consider building anything on Auschwitz or Dachau. No one would consider building anything at ground zero.
All right, we back. And y'all know what the next subject is?
What's that?
You know, and this is what we're trying to do with trying to save our youth. I should have put the picture up also of this young man who I know, not very good, but I know him. Quando Rondo, he's a local rapper here, who's usually with NBA Youngboy. But Quando was recently arrested and put in an 18-member organization, and they've been charged with gang violence and drugs. And he's a rapper, young, smart as hell. This is the bad part about it. This kid is smart as hell. I sat and I talked to him. Robert, did you come to the barbershop that day?
I might have. I don't know.
We had a barbershop voter thing at the barbershop on the south side. I thought you were there that day. I know Jay Jones was there, and Rufus Bright, and a few Ricardo Brown, Centel Brown.
Right.
It was by I forgot the name of the organization. We held a
I know you're talking about the men's lab, the men's lab. Yeah, I missed that.
But it wasn't Black Men Lab. It wasn't Black Men Lab. It was something else with Black Men Vote thing. And so we were all there, and he came in to get a haircut. And I didn't know who he was until somebody told me who he was. And I'd heard of him and everything because he's, relatively famous. But this kid is smart as hell. Yeah. I'm talking about this kid is actually smart. I'm talking about smart.
I got it.
He asked me all kind of political questions. I see you, Robert. I'll get you in a second.
Yeah, but
he had all kind of political questions that he was asking. He joined in and asked questions and contributed to tell us what the young people were feeling. And I'm just sitting there amazed at how smart he was. Got all these gold teeth in the mouth, rapping, got all the way. He got plenty of money because he told one boy that played for Windsor Forest. The Windsor Forest basketball team came in. He told us, I'm going to give you $10,000 if you can get 25 points and 10 rebounds. He said, you get a double-double, I'm going to give you $10,000 tonight.
Right.
So he got money to just throw away. But this boy is smart as hell. But now he done got caught up with a drug gang here in Savannah. And we just, we and this is what we're trying to save our kids from. You don't have to do this. You got money. You got status. Carry your crew with you. Carry your crew with you out of that. You don't have to be in that. What the hell is gang? Now you're going to jail. Instead of taking your crew, putting them all in suits, making them all elevate, now you got this. I hope you can get out of it, bro.
Sean.
Go ahead, Robert.
Give me a minute, Sean. Give me a minute. Put your hand down. I'll pass to you. I've always said this. Our children are the smartest people on earth. When your child goes to school and the teacher says they have a behavioral disorder, that's a bunch of malarkey. Your child is smart, they're just not challenged. And what we have here is an instance where somebody wants to belong to something. Tiffany heard me talk about this before. If your family won't accept you because you're a rapper or you got gold teeth or you got dreadlocks and you can't go to church because they don't accept you because you do these things different. Everybody wants to belong, so they're going to belong to something. So if the streets going to gather me and make me feel like I belong, I'm going to go over there. We got to do a better job in our Black churches and our Black families and stop judging one another. I'm assuming here, but I can pretty much probably guess that he was the black sheep of his family, that no church wanted to pull him in. It's people like Charles and Mr. Charles and Julius that look beyond that and mentor them, myself included. I don't care what a young Black brother does. What I care about is making sure that they're not in a gang and going to jail. We just, like you just said, you just lost a very smart young brother who is an entrepreneur. We got to stop this stupid judging and making our children feel like they got to go to the streets. And this is a classic example of us feeling that brother, not him. He felt like he couldn't belong in these spaces, so he had to go to a space where he belonged. And I don't care who says it, I'm different, I'm wrong about this, I'm not. It happens time and time after again. It happens with our LGBTQ youth. It happens with the young brothers who feel like they don't belong because I got gold teeth, I rap, I'm creative. It happens too much. We've got to stop judging and accept our young people. And I'm gonna pass to Sean because he was next.
Okay, I'm gonna let Sean speak.
Sean was next, y'all.
I'm gonna let Sean speak. I'm gonna say this. It's sometimes it get difficult for parents because teenagers know everything. And I often tell people, if you want somebody smart in your business, please put a teenager. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay. Basically, when people sit back and they talk about, I'm from the school of hard knocks, I'm from the streets, I'm from the Basically, it all boils down to one thing: the music industry. Okay, Bloods and Crips was in West Coast. How Bloods and Crips made it to Savannah and Atlanta and all that through the music. You understand? It's through the music. The music right now is, he wouldn't have been famous. He can't. I mean, like right now, he's blowing up and all that because people want to hear. I just like Julia said, he's smart. He's smart. He's smart. He's smart. But guess what? If he put what he's saying, like the question that he's asking in a rap song, nobody's going to buy that. People want to hear about us killing each other. People want to hear about us dogging each other. People want to hear about the struggle. People want to hear that, hey, I had to flip a bird. You know what I'm saying? People want to hear how to make crack in a song.
Right.
People want to hear how to not, they want to learn from a rap song.
Right.
If you listen, I mean, that's the only genre of music where it seems like the more harsh you sound, like you will kill your brother. Soon as you say, hey, let's make a song, a rap song talking about taking out Jews.
Right.
I bet it'll never get played.
But
But we can talk about killing the people that live down the street from us. Right. But we can't talk about killing a whole nother race because it's going to get taken off. But we're allowed to talk about killing each other. Yeah. That's genocide. That's genocide, and we're allowed to talk about it.
Correct. But you have to realize who's controlling the music industry. Go ahead, Tiffany.
I think Tiffany was next, y'all.
So a lot of the problem is also that our children doesn't know where they came from. Their history isn't taught to them. Yeah. I'm 35 years old and I'm just learning my history at 35 years old, because when I was in elementary school, I was taught that Christopher Columbus found the United States, the New World. And that was a lie. Our children from pre-K to 12th grade on into maybe college isn't taught about our history, to the fact that now we have governors that are attacking critical race theory.
Yeah.
Because they don't want our youth to know where they came from. Not only do they not want our youth to know where they came from, but they don't want the white youth to know how ugly and how savage they are.
Exactly.
And so all of your points, you are absolutely right. You can say, I kill a N, I slap a B all day long and go platinum. But then you say, let's rise up and let's stand together as a Black community, as Solomon's grandchildren.
Woo, preach, girl.
Then you're censored and you're muted. But it takes us as adults who know that our history isn't being taught in our schools to intervene. You know what I mean? I know Quando Rondo. My sons listen to his music, my 14-year-old. So they keep me up on, because I get their names mixed up, whatever. But because a gang makes them feel like a brotherhood, makes them feel like they're belong. And for someone to make it and to have so much money, there is so much influence around him to go the other way, that it's more convenient for him to go the other way instead of the right way, because those around him has accepted him to the fact where he now trusts what they say.
That's right.
Well,
and we not only see that in Quando Rondo, but we also see that in the Young Thug case.
But he has to keep the rhythm. He has to keep the rhythm. He has to know the street. It's like writing a book. It's almost like writing a book. Or being a reporter. As a rapper, you're a reporter 9 times out of 10. You're sitting around it. You're not in it because they're keeping you out of it. Bumpy Johnson is saying, no, 50 Cent, I don't want you actually out here in this. But you can watch because you can lyrically put it out there. You understand?
Okay, Sandra, you got something you want to say on it?
Pass it on.
No, I'm good.
Can I?
Life. What you get. Life is imitating art every day, and it's happening all over. Okay.
Absolutely.
Jill, we can go to the next subject if you want.
Let me offer a solution real quick before we move on. Let me offer a solution.
Go ahead.
What I want us to do, when you see, Julius, you do a good job of this. When you see a young black brother or black sister, grab them by the hand. Whether you think they're right, wrong, or hurt you, help them. Because they just want somebody to give a damn about them. Excuse my language.
You better say that.
You got a young brother tonight who's engineering this show. And we're going to tighten this behind up. Because I don't want to see that young brother in jail. I don't want to see him in the grave. We all got to take that responsibility because ain't nobody else going to do it but us.
Absolutely. And it takes us.
And the only thing like me and my brother is the fact that I had two people who was here retired who kept my behind straight and on narrow. So we got to care about us because ain't nobody else going to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to Mr. Brown's point, and I'll stop talking, but he said that the music is art imitating life or life imitating art. That is so true. And our children are like sponges. They see exactly what we do and how we operate. And you know what? They do the same thing. So if they see this drugs being sold, they see that this is their environment. A lot of them in their mind, this is all that I have. So this is all that I'm going to do. But it does take for us as adults to intervene. Like I have 4 sons, 15, 14, 8, and 1 years old. Not only do I have my sons, but I also have other young men that I mentor by speaking to them, by showing up for them, by getting them things that they need, and also making it safe for them to say, hey, Miss Tiffany, I feel XYZ. And for me as an African-American woman being 35 years old, like I said, I'm still learning my history now. But what I do know is when I learn my history, I make it known to my children. Oh, also, let me tell you this. So I ordered this book because it is helping me understand Black men as a Black woman. And
it needs to be more clear. I can't really see it. What is it?
Come close to your camera.
God,
no, she got.
There you go.
It's the Black woman's guide to understanding the Black man.
Oh, I need that.
It is so powerful because it takes us from the time a young Black man is born into this world to the decisions that he makes as an adult and the routes that he takes, and also the evidence of that route that he takes. A lot of Black men don't make it, and so it's up to us to make sure that we do catch some of them before the jail system does.
All right. We do have to make sure that we are all as Black men trying to mentor as many of these kids as we can.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that has been put on us as a charge to keep, that we need to keep, and if we don't, then we'll lose a whole generation. They're out of control, and I don't know. It's a system that's been put in place that we have to try to get around. But we're gonna move on to the next subject.
She had the book up for a minute. Can you tell what the author name? What's the author name so they can look it up?
I think it's pronounced Sharad Ali. But when I tell you, it's a great read for an African-American woman and a mom. It's opened my eyes up to a lot of things that I have indoctored into my sons that I really didn't know could potentially harm them, because I am also feeding into the narrative of them not getting their history.
Correct.
So,
I appreciate you sharing that. I'm gonna let Sean talk just a second. Jill, I'm gonna say this. You see that young man that in Jury's Hall? Who you think meant to him? I do all the time. You see how he turning out. Go ahead, Sean.
Wow.
That's why you like that.
Problem. Another piece to the puzzle.
That was a lot of foolishness happening.
I got a question. Okay, I got a question. I got a challenge.
Well, you don't make it where we got to keep on this subject now. Go ahead and make it.
One second.
And that's the thing. I
Okay.
want to end this subject with this. Can we get to as far as we can get to the top of the industry, music industry, as high as we can get, and ask them not to mention a gun and for a year. Not to mention a gun or mention violence in their rap music for a year. Just for a year. Like maybe 2024 the kids. 2024 the kids. And it's like, don't mention no rap, no violence in your rap for a year. Just for 1 year. Let's see where it goes.
Sean,
the Second Amendment.
Sean,
it'll never happen.
Sean, that's not going to happen because they don't want the music unless it's violence and all.
Yeah.
Now, that's our fault for not being more demanding and being more involved and engaged.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, there's some positive, great music out there. I've listened to it on YouTube and TikTok and all. It's some great music out there. That these guys are rapping with the same type of rhythm, same type of force, same type of passion, but they don't want it because it's not saying whore, it's not saying bitch, it's not saying the N-word, it's not cussing, it's not talking about violence, so they don't want it. So it's our fault.
Julie,
talk about fault for not making it. If we can't rap about killing somebody else, why are we rapping about killing ourselves?
Right. And who is engineering this?
Thank you.
That's who we need to be boycotting. Who is engineering this? It is the Jewish community.
Thank you.
No,
it's the Jewish community, but we also they would not be around if it wasn't for Jay-Z and Puff Daddy and all the rest of them, because they are the label owners and the record industry over them. They got to bring these people to them. You know what you're saying, Robert, before we go on to another thing?
Screw the boycott, because black folk don't get that no more. You create your own. So we got Too Benji, we got Fillmore Slim, we got plenty of artists. Create your own label of people who want to do it the right way. And that's when you drown out the foolishness.
Because I think people want to be more positive now because it's so much stress and with daily life. So I can see that. I can see that prospering.
All right, we got 30 minutes or so, and we got 3 subjects. So y'all try to be light on it. And once you're done saying it, try to say what you're gonna say, so I won't have to ring this bell on y'all. So let's get to the next subject. Your girl, Tiffany, your girl, you know who it is. Your girl, she back at it again. I think she just want to be relevant.
She does. My girl is a clout chaser.
Don't put her up there. I hate
it. She everybody need to see who this is. Everybody don't know who Candice Owens is. They need to know who this girl is. She hates herself. She is the female version of Clarence Thomas. She is terrible. She is absolutely a disgrace to the human race. And not just the black race. She's a disgrace to the human race.
And I bet she's capitalizing off of it as well.
Yeah,
What upset me is that the comment she made about Juneteenth, that it's just something made up, it's a bunch of nonsense and all. That is not right. But because you look at all holidays was made up. Father's Day was made up. Mother's Day was made up. Now, come on. What does the Easter Bunny got to do something with Easter and the eggs? It's all made up. I think she was just being a typical a-hole when it comes to us. She said Juneteenth is interfering with a great holiday with the 4th of July. But the 4th of July was actually, we was considered animals, livestock. We wasn't really a part of that. I'm not saying take away the 4th of July, but it's wrong. That's all I want to say. And y'all can comment on it. She is wrong because all holidays was made up. So what's wrong with Juneteenth?
Let the person from Texas speak first.
Oh, no, my hand ain't.
So And y'all know how I feel about this holiday. First of all, the black people over here in Texas, yes, they are slow. And yes, we had to create a new holiday just for them because they were 2 years slow. But I do not discount the fact that this is our, across the board, official. We are free. All of our people are free. So if Candice Owens, because she's just an asshole just because she can be and just because she got a platform. But I don't discount what the Caucasians feel like is their freedom from Europe. I don't discount that. July 4th is their freedom from Europe. And Juneteenth is the slaves or former slaves freedom from them. Period.
And you know what's sad? It took them 2 years. They knew about it, but they didn't inform the people. They work them for free for another 2 years. So because they didn't have no information about it and they kept it a secret from them. Mm-hmm. So, I say, guess what I say? Watch my tongue and you can talk whoever next.
Go ahead, Sean.
I believe
all that cussing is there.
Candice is she's tired of being Tootie.
That
Tootie from Facts of Life.
All right.
All right. Every time, like, could you imagine what Tootie went through in real life? Every time Martin Luther King's speech, Tootie, what do you think? Tootie, what do you think? And she got tired. She's getting tired of it. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna agree with them, or I'm gonna get them off of my back, or I'm gonna hear what they really got to say behind their back by just listening in. She's become one of them undercover because she's like, I'm tired of y'all always questioning me. Anytime somebody black does something, all my friends look at me. She has too many white friends.
Do you know what color her husband is?
Is she married?
No. Yes, she married.
Oh, probably white.
What color you think her husband is?
Probably white or Hispanic.
Huh?
Probably white or Hispanic.
Probably white. He is white as the driven snow that falls in Indiana.
Listen type of way.
She probably got one straight out of Mississippi.
I don't know where he's from,
Canada,
but he's white.
Canada.
And he's standing up. And let me tell you how he's standing up over her. He's standing up like this when she be speaking.
Oh,
and
man.
He scared me so bad one time. I had to call Joyce. I was upset. He said, what's wrong? I said, Candice Owens' husband stood over her, and he must be saw me looking on a podcast. And he scared me.
She might be under the Stockholm syndrome. You know what I'm saying? She might be a prisoner.
Oh, Charles, don't make excuses for her.
No, she's a clout chaser.
You didn't even know her husband was white.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Do we read her eyelashes? Do we read her blanks in the middle of her podcast? Like, she might be saying, somebody save me. SOS.
Okay.
SOS.
And I'll be bringing right back. Get your ass beat. Get your ass beat.
Anybody else got anything on Candice?
Don't drink no more of that, Sean.
Anybody else got anything on Candice?
Candice is going to use every opportunity to spew hate any chance that she get, because she know that that's going to make her relevant. She's taking a page out of Donald Trump's book. They know exactly how to get attention. DeSantis, he's doing the same thing. He knows that if you want to get clout, if you want someone to pay attention, play the race card. Play the race card against blacks. Let's say blacks are less than. Let's say blacks are this, that, and the third. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to get a platform. You know why? Because the news and the media loves division. And they're going to use any person, black or white, to spew that and further that agenda. And so what Candice Owens is doing is she's falling right into that. And eventually when she gets older, she's going to be apologizing. But by then, girl,
and guess what? And guess what? And guess what? Y'all might say I accept it. I'm not. And I'm
I'll never accept it.
And let me tell you something. She gonna turn just like Clarence Thomas when he was in trouble. Guess what he say? There's this number at a high-tech lynching. They're going to lynch her one day. I don't know when.
Well, you know,
it's gonna be her. It's gonna be her own kind that she's protecting. They're gonna turn on her. You're just a token. She's just a token black face. Exactly. That's what she is to put in the front of the camera to spew hate. And that's, I mean, if I said, F these ends, these ends are lazy. They don't want to work. They're welfare queens. You know how much endorsement they'll probably give me a podcast and put my name somewhere.
Exactly.
And ain't nobody know me from a can of paint. But the fact of the matter is, I can cause division. So and she's black.
Yeah, she's just like one of Diamond's people. Y'all remember that girl Diamond? They were the duo. Diamond,
Diamond and Silk.
Yeah, and one died, and they were so much staunch supporters of Trump that he went there to her funeral and didn't even know who the hell she was. Go figure.
Anyway, before we move on, I think that Candice Owens and people like Candice and Herschel and Tim Scott, Clarence Thomas, Ben Carson, these people are a detriment to our community and to our existence. If it was up to them, they would ship all of us back to Africa or exterminate all of us if it was up to them. So, you know, I don't give them any kind of clout. It's just that we put them on because the ridiculous things that they say. And so y'all just be mindful of what we're doing and what we're saying here on this platform. Our next
Tiffany,
real quick.
And that's what you said, Julius. That's exactly how they're getting attention. That's exactly how they're getting booked and put in front of, because they're a detriment to the black community. And Malcolm X said this in 65. He said that they would put people in our community that look just like us, puppets. He said this, and so we have to be vigilant to what our ancestors have said. What our ancestors have said. He said that they would put people just like Clarence Thomas, just like Candice Owens, just like Tim Scott into our communities to cause a distraction. They want us to be distracted by the fact that there is a black woman, a black man talking ill about the black community. But what you can do is take your ideology and shove it up your butt, because no one cares.
And for this man, take back to New York.
Exactly, and you're not gonna win.
And this is a perfect example. Our next subject with the cat board, and well, not the cat board, they're ineffective also, but CAT. The CAT is the Chatham Area Transit Authority. Chatham Area Transit Authority. The cat is out the bag. Okay, the cat is out the bag. We know what's happening down there. I got this letter in the mail, and I gave a couple of copies to other show hosts, and they told me, I read it on the show. When I read this last week, yeah, and what they're talking about is that how bad of a decline it's on since they got rid of the sister that was there and brought in this white female, thinking that she was going to be on their side and thinking that she was going to be a better leader. And what we see, I don't know the lady, but hell, I don't. But from what I'm saying, is these drivers are pissed off. And I assume that this is a driver that's this here, somebody. They said they only have an HR department. If you understaff 100 bus drivers. How the hell you gonna hire somebody if you don't even have the HR department to hire them? If you understaff the whole security department where there's no security, how can the female bus drivers feel safe? You got people running around at this place naked down there, absolutely naked, and they'll show you how clean and crisp it look down at the downtown terminal right there, how good it looks. But you go down there right now, you got people sleeping in there, sleeping under the bridge. I went down there and viewed it myself.
It's a lot of trash.
You know, all the trash everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they doing? Are they trying to clean it up for the people so that people? I mean, they just don't care. But you got a board that got rid of Bakar Malden and brought in this other female from another state, and she's not doing anything either. I mean, you know, well, they say Bakar was at least talking to the people. They say the place is smelly, dirty, unprotected. You got people sleeping in the bathrooms, and then, you know, and you don't want us to talk about it. Why? We're going to talk about this all the time. We're going to, if we think that it's credible, if we think that it's something that needs to be brought to the public's attention because taxpayers' dollars are being spent to from all eight cities in this county are being used to fund CAT, then we need, except for Pool, I don't think they got it out there. But we need to make sure that the whole body of taxpayers know. And I got this letter in the mail. I don't know who sent it to me. I don't care. But it's credible.
Julius, where it needs to start at, it needs to start at the top. When I say the top, you need to remove all the board of directors, whoever running it, and then you need to then hit the management. And what CAT should do, and I know it's going to hurt a lot of people when I say this, they need to break the mold, whatever they got going on, the leadership, which is if Chester Ellis, the chairman, they need to break the mold and stop CAT from running, and I mean this, for 48 hours, and bring in rather temporary bus drivers, bring in a cleaning crew, get our security together, and put something together within 48 hours. We can do that because we live in a society that you can pull in the expert to come in and do that and get that thing correct, running. That's my opinion, need to happen. But you got to break the mold at the top, because it should start at the top and filter down. If you don't have good leadership at the top, it's rather difficult for middle management to do anything. Sean, I wouldn't let you go, but I'm gonna let Robert go because Robert had his hand up, and then you can go.
Let me
go ahead, Robert.
Anytime you're chairman for the Chatham County, and I'm gonna tell you real talk. One thing about me, I don't care if you're friend, foe, or whatever. I'm gonna call it like it is. Anytime your chairman put a former county commissioner on that board who nobody likes, you got a problem. You got a major problem. So the dysfunction goes beyond CAT.
No,
we got to look at the chairman. We got to look at the county commission. When are y'all going to step up and make an address the issue? I'm not going to sit here. One thing about me, I don't care if you're my friend, my foe, whatever. The county commission needs to address the issue. And if y'all can't address it, all 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 of y'all can go too. Because at the end of the day, it makes no sense that taxpayers and people who ride that bus every day don't feel like they are safe. And it makes no sense. Hey, hold on. I got people who drive for that system who get up at 5 in the morning, get off at 10 at night, and got to get up and do it again. So I heard this from the horse's mouth. So I'm telling the county commission, y'all better tighten this thing up. Because guess what? You coming up for an election next year. And because I'm for election next year don't mean I'm going to hold my tongue. That's not how I roll. Tighten it up. So because when we have Bakar Malden, the only reason she gone because she's a black woman. That's it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's the bottom line. So we got to do a better job at the top. And the top is at the county commission. Bottom line. We're not going to play around with it.
Well, again, I'm going to let the next person speak. But again, I'm going to go back. You got to start at the top and to make it work. Robert, who was next? Son, you or Sean?
No, it's Sean. It's Sean.
Look at Sean.
Okay. So, all right. I wrote this down because this is very important. All right. First, y'all said no HR.
Right.
Y'all said no HR. All right. So when the last time they had a pay problem?
We can't answer that. I guess
They
when
didn't
they
have
had
it.
the old
So
director.
okay, if they had a pay problem, then that means that they had no HR. There's an HR there, and like already, it's like you're ready to fire people that don't need to be fired. There's people in there that need to be fired, but we have to look at who needs to be fired. HR probably doing their job and stuff like that.
They don't have an HR.
Say again, no, if the people, just like Robert said, that the people have to come there at work and that means that people need to be promoted. One person need to be fired and a whole lot of people need to be promoted. You know what I'm saying? And when I say promoted, why? Because whoever keeping the system going right now knows what the problem is and is struggling to keep to keep the system going. If you promote that person probably going to promote the other people that's helping them, and the system will start flowing a little bit better. Right now, it's one person clogging the system. You understand what I'm saying? One person clogging the system. Just like I said, y'all said there was no HR.
Sean,
That I have a problem when y'all said there was no HR because that means that somebody's not getting paid. If people
it does not.
You have a different part of HR to pay people.
Yes.
And the hiring part. Everybody's not gone.
Yes.
Okay.
Most of the HR is gone.
Let a person with a master's degree in HR talk about this for just 1 second. Okay, so you have HR and then you have payroll. Those are two different departments. They can still be getting paid, but they cannot be getting paid at the rate that they should be paid, because if they come in, if they're hired in by HR and they're not hired in at the rate that they should be hired in at, then you're going to have a low retention rate, because you're going to have a lot of people quitting because HR is not doing their retention job and they're not doing their recruiting job. Payroll will still continue to pay. Okay? So my thought is this, going back to what Mr. Brown said, or it might have been Robert, it goes back to the board of directors, who the shystiest, shadiest cousin of the anchor of the show.
Don't make me mute you.
Not the anchor of the show. Okay.
His cousin is the chairman of the board. Why are all his cousins on the council?
No, Chandra, why all of them? Come on. Both of them.
I'm just going to say this. They knew when they voted this shiesty cousin in that he shouldn't have been there in the first place, because he was ripping off nonprofit organizations.
Hold on.
Okay. I'm just saying. Sandra. Money was missing. Money was missing. Money was missing.
I got it. Sandra, thank you. We got to stay on the subject. It is about that. And the number one thing, y'all brought out an interesting point. A lot of stuff might get wet in the process, because when certain people speak, they're going to wet you up. So we're not going to go there. We're going to stop there, Julie.
Around the real.
Well, we
I
want
don't even know these people.
Allegedly.
Ooh, allegedly.
Yeah.
Julie, a lot of people going to get wet.
Allegedly, money was missing.
Okay, leave it alone.
Well,
Julius,
okay,
a lot of
you
people
said
gonna
your
get
piece
wet,
on it.
correct?
We need to make sure that we say things that we know to be for exact truth. You can't trust what the media says. We're going to bring you what we know because we haven't looked into it, we've investigated it, and we have credible proof of what they're saying. I don't believe anything WTOC says. I don't believe anything that the street talk tells me from the streets. I go and look at it myself because I'm in the streets.
Not because it's your cousin.
Not just because he's my cousin.
Ain't because he's your cousin. Ain't that right?
That's correct. That's correct.
The media is saying that Chester Ellis is doing a great job.
I'm saying that
I don't believe it.
We got bigger problems than Chester is what I'm saying.
Right.
Okay.
Julius and I both know it's a wet situation. Am I right, Julius, or not?
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway,
Like the
cat bus system still falls back on the 9 directors or whatever that is that they have
That's correct.
at the cat board. Chester's not on it is one of those people. There's 9 people appointed, 1 from each city that gets transportation supplied to their city. And I think Port Wentworth is next, so they'll probably have to lose 1 in Savannah. Savannah probably got 3 or 4 of them on there.
Right.
And they'll probably have to lose 1, and so Port Wentworth can appoint 1. But as soon as Port Wentworth gets
Who appoints those people?
I don't know. We'll find that out. I believe it's the county commissions. No, if when we get it in Port Wentworth will their council will appoint a person to be on the cat board. That's how it works. But anyway, we want to make sure that CAT understands and the people there in charge knows that somebody's watching. The bus drivers are complaining. You are understaffed. They don't get breaks. They don't get anything. It's unsafe. They don't have an HR. Training is bad. Your retention rate is bad. Everything. Don't get mad at me. Just do your damn job. And
That's
do
right.
They brought you in here to do your job.
Right.
Do your job. Don't get mad at nobody. Do your job.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Tell them
Period.
we cannot be sued.
I'm putting in an application. I'm gonna put in an application. I got time to go through the process and see what
the crazy juice. No, we don't need to drive.
All right, we got.
No, I'm just gonna go through the undercover boss thing.
Since y'all are so undisciplined, we still got 1 subject left, and I know that we're gonna go. Oh no, we got 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got 15 minutes. I can't look at the time because we started after the hour, so it's 1:47. We got about 13 minutes, and the last subject. But Kat, we are watching. We don't care whether you like us or not. I'm 1099. I don't give a damn what you do. Ain't nothing you can do with me.
I'm federal government.
Main topic. Sandra sent this topic to us, and Sandra, I looked at it, and when you sent it to us, I said, "Well, Sandra wants us to go and watch a hour and 40-minute documentary." And I watched it, but I knew everything in it almost. 90% of what was in it, I already know. That's what I preach every day. So if y'all have time, people, go to Netflix and just put in 13th. It'll pop up. You'll see the banner for like this here. It's 13 from slave to criminal with 1 amendment. But go and watch this. It is highly informative, and you will really leave it saying, wow. But, I didn't, because a bunch of it, is stuff that I've been preaching for the last 10, 12 years. But what I'm saying is, is history that you need to go back and look at. And it needs to be viewed by all, especially, it needs to be viewed by all people. Really, all people, so they can understand what we're talking about. We used to pick the cotton. Now we are the damn cotton.
Yep.
So you have to go and look at this and get from that perspective, because they put everything in order. And so I just ask all y'all to go watch it. 13th on Netflix.
Please.
Anybody?
You know, because this totally correlates with the George Floyd bill that has not been passed. And then it correlates with this new DOJ, you know, revelation that that Minneapolis Police Department is, you know, wow, they were targeting, you know, Black people and Indians and, you know, things like that. This has always been the case ever since slavery supposedly ended. And then you ask Black people in America, well, why are you guys behind? If you look at this documentary, it will tell you step by step what their process was after we came out of slavery into putting us back into slavery. You know, and a lot of things we need to stop talking about each other. This goddamn Black on Black crime and how we are criminals, and even us buying into the fact that we are criminals. The hell with that.
That's right.
Because they made us, they psyched us out to believe that this was the case, but this was not the case.
You know what's pretty powerful is that when we was freed, supposed to be freed, guess how much money we had? Absolutely nothing. None. We was free with not a quarter. And how you going to function? And that's why the police department came along, because they know we were going to commit a crime to get some money or something, because we had no money. How would you feel starting out with absolutely no money? Sean, go ahead, please.
You better say that.
When it comes back to the identification, when it comes back to the whole, how do we identify ourselves? And the only way we can identify ourselves is through what everybody is hearing, the popular choice, the popular music, the popular whatever, the popular rapper, the popular, and that's why, again, I go on to say, like, I'm a chess player. I am a chess player.
All right, teach me.
3 moves ahead. I think 3 moves ahead. The 13th Amendment is a cheat sheet right now. It's a cheat sheet. It shows you we're going to be locking up our nephews and nieces and the people that own the houses, right? The family members that own the houses are going to have to shelter our nieces and nephews that decide to go to jail and have to put on the ankle monitor. Why? Because the leases aren't going to allow criminal or people under criminal thing. We're going to try to keep our young kids out of them jails. So the ankle monitor that costs about $400 a month, they keep on to them, right? And the lease facilities, these apartment buildings and everybody that's leasing and renting and all that, they're going to say, hey, no, they can't be on your lease. They can't be because they got a criminal record. So it's left to the people that own houses, their family members that own houses and all this other stuff.
So the 13th Amendment is saying you can make slavery legal. That's what it is saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You want to take it?
Yes, I do. Because I want to piggyback off of what you said. You said once we were free, we had no money. You are absolutely right. Not only did we not have any money, but we were denied land that we worked on. We were denied loans that we so rightly deserved because we worked hard. And so that's why we didn't have a leg up. When people say about people pulling up pulling themselves up by your bootstrap. How are you gonna pull yourself up by a bootstrap when I don't have a boot or a shoestring?
Hey,
well put. Well put. Well put. After the show, I want you to stay on because I want to ask you some questions.
Okay. But we've been our ancestors was left out of so many opportunities that gave the white race an upper hand on us. A lot of our ancestors made it and a lot of our ancestors didn't. But I say it's the trick of the mind, because once someone has your mind and can control your mind, then they can control everything that you do. And it's in our music, it's in the news on a daily basis, and it's instilled into us. It's instilled into us because I'm trying to clean up the house, so I'm going to put Nehemiah in front of the TV. I'm going to monitor what Nehemiah is watching, but who knows what commercial pulls up while I'm sweeping the floor, which also indoctrinates something to my young son without me even knowing, because I'm sweeping the floor. Well, a lot of our young men don't know that they're being indoctrinated with self-hate, with sabotage, self-hate for not only themselves, but those that look like them. Because now you're the op. You're the op because you look like me. You're the op because not only do you look like me, but you're just as poor as me. You don't have a daddy. You don't go to work, and your mama on welfare. So that makes you the op. It goes back to us. Woo! It goes back to us as adults in knowing that our children and our Tiffany, yes, sir.
You are pretty powerful what you say, and you know what's interesting? The one who got the goal make the rule, and that's what take place when I say make the rule, because they can indoctrinate because they have the funds and the money to do it, and we have to put a block there somehow by not taking our young people and turning them on to it. Julius, go ahead, my brother. You know you the master of the show.
Robert.
Yes, sir.
You got anything you want to say?
I think Tiffany summed it up.
Everybody's had their piece on this here.
Yeah,
that's our last subject,
and
we want to make sure that everybody go watch this documentary because it is very powerful, and it'll keep you sitting there wanting to see our history. Our kids need to see this history. We need to not forget where we came from and what lives were lost, what we had to suffer through, and we're still suffering through. We can't get bank loans and everything else like everybody else. We can't do the things that everybody else do. We can hardly drive down the street without being stopped and shot. So we got to be able to not lose our history. Our history needs to be more in our face instead of being hidden, like with the critical race theory, like they're trying to outlaw. Our history needs to be in front of our kids and in front of us every day so that it can be passed on. If you lose your history, you lose your people.
Come on.
Correct.
And like I said, we used to pick the cotton, now we are the cotton. And the thing is, when they buy us, the way that they buy these elected officials and not understanding that if it's all right to do something for a contractor. It's all right to take a payment from somebody who wants to see your city grow. It's all right. Because you got to take it from somebody, because if you don't, then the other person is. But they have to have the understanding that I'm doing this, I'm taking your money so that I can build a city. I don't owe you anything. Right? I don't owe you nothing. I am building this city, and this is where we're going to go with it. If you along with the plan, show me your plan. Let's see if I can jump on.
You better say it.
As a partner. That's the way that the world works everywhere in the world. You do for me, I do for you.
It works that way.
All about.
You know? And you absolutely right. And what I find pretty powerful, when people say black people have prejudice against white people, it don't really make them no different, but they prejudice against us hurt you at the bank, hurt you at the car dealership, because they see you going in the bank and they'll call their friend Bob Smith and say, Charlie Brown gonna come in there, don't give him a quarter. So our prejudice really don't hurt them. Their prejudice of us hurt us economic all around.
And that's one of the main reasons why I'm unapologetic about what I say.
Hello.
On November 7th, when we take over city council, every single contract is going to be bidded to a black business, a black contractor. Because for so long we have been left out, and I'm unapologetic about it, and that's one promise I'm gonna damn keep.
You
That's
can't
right.
say that.
I
At
pray.
least be fair. At least be fair.
Yeah, you have to still put it out there, but we
Yeah.
need to
Yeah,
get.
at least
We
be
need to
fair.
have a percentage.
Well-
You can't because you can't do it that way. But,
Exactly.
we
You
gonna
can't
get
do it that way.
That's
You
for
can
another
lose every
show.
time just trying to
They
be.
get it.
Yeah, to the tune of black businesses only got 0.1%
You're
of
right.
any contract in
You're right.
Chatham County.
You
So
shut me down
don't
on
make
that.
me tell you
Julian.
the story. I read the report.
Julian,
Well-
Robert shut me down on that. So
They
I'm
did it.
sorry to shut me down.
Tell me
on
this. Tell me this before we. I mean, if I could,
Quickly.
would you rather any black business start and them leave us alone, or us be regulated, or us, like you understand what I'm saying? Like, what are we asking for? What's the contrast? Are we
You know
asking
what?
that any black business be opened at any time with no regulation, or the I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Sean.
honestly,
That
Sean,
has nothing to do with it, Sean.
Sean, you
Yes.
ask too many questions instead of giving solutions. You always got a question instead of an answer.
because I want
Your
people to-
opinion. You got to give us your opinion. You got a question for us all the time, which prolongs.
Let me
Yeah.
get on this.
It
Let
needs
me
to go
clarify.
back
Let me
to
clarify.
Lady
Let me clarify.
Jackson.
Let me clarify. For so long, the city of Savannah has had legacy contractors. These folk here that don't look like us have always got the contracts to build, be contractors, do whatever. I want 99.9% of those contracts to go to black contractors. Period.
We have to make sure that we have certain things in play. Again, I don't know about doing that. I'm saying
We
we
build
need
it
a
up.
fair shake. It need to be 50-50 at least. How many times we got,
can't it be
Julian?
50-50, 75-25. It's got to be. You can catch up.
Why
but
we
you
got to
gotta
play
do it
fair
right.
now? Why we got to play fair when it was a play fair?
Because you're setting an example for everybody else. Is
Exactly.
the only reason.
Thank you.
And the thing is,
I'll think about
I understand what you're saying, Robert, and to some degree, you're absolutely correct. Don't be afraid to lead when you have a chance to change things
right.
to make the marginalized and underserved communities better.
You
I
better say that,
understand.
Julius. That's why I won, because you were my campaign manager.
Julius, you are my man.
Check this out, y'all.
They
This is
need to
exactly
go to
what
the
I'm
playbook
what
of
I'm
Maynard Jackson. If everybody goes back to the playbook
Yes.
of Maynard Jackson
Thank you, Sean.
back in the 90s, when
Right.
he stopped all contracting with that airport in Atlanta and started creating black millionaires based on giving out fair subcontracts.
That is absolutely correct, Sandra. He made sure that all the contracts had a piece. That's what it is about. It's about making sure that we have inclusion because we're locked out right now. It's about making sure that you, even with right now, with in the city and the county and the states. Well, the state ain't doing nothing. City and the county, since they're controlled, they have where you have to have some minority participation,
Right.
or it got to be a DBE or something that has women and a black-owned, women-owned military. You got to have some type of affiliation with these people. Even with the feds, you get more contracts if you're affiliated with the military or you a DBE. What, Robert? What?
The problem with the city is, as soon as they hit that threshold, then they change the expectation.
Well, you're gonna get there. You get there and make sure that you keep them in order. Then,
Right.
Be vigilant,
then that
Rob.
means you got to work your ass off to get
All
there.
right, ladies and gentlemen. For instance, my company, Arches, Julius was with me, and I appreciate my brother being there. I have a new company. It's Arches, business consultant, and Julius was at one of my events. The county give us a contract. and our contract is working out real good. So Tiffany, I'm gonna talk to you about it afterwards. I want you to stay on for a minute. Don't leave.
Can I tell you what they're doing to get around that, though?
Go ahead.
You know that white women have, have taken over all of these businesses.
Yeah.
And now they're giving these DBE businesses, these DBE's contracts to the white women that their husbands used to own. And that should not be the case.
All right, and I'm going to say this. Maynard Jackson in Savannah is completely different because Maynard Jackson is the CEO, period. Just like the mayor of New York, like the mayor of Philadelphia, we don't have that same structure in Savannah. We don't.
Well, and that's why we need people like y'all with those types of skill sets and mindsets to run for office. If you don't run for office and all you want to do is talk about it, then you're not going to make a difference.
Right.
We want to thank our sponsors, One Price Cleaners in Garden City, right by the farmers market. If you go into the farmers market off of Highway 80, y'all know where One Price Cleaners is, black owned and operated, best prices in town. Got this shirt pressed there, Mr. Brown. I catch him coming out there all the time. I need all of y'all, Sean, if you got any dry cleaning, you need to make sure it goes to One Price Cleaners in Garden City.
Do a great job.
These people are supporting us, and we want to support them. We need everybody to just overload them to where they have to move into a bigger building, or whether they got to move to a new location.
Okay, overflow.
Yeah, overflow. Press down, snap together, and whatever.
You better say that, Julius.
We're gonna say something. We're gonna say something about the attorney.
Yeah.
Talk about my attorneys.
Davis Bozeman Johnson Law Firm, the law firm that gets great results.
They do.
They got offices in Savannah, Atlanta, and Statesboro. Y'all can find them at the information down on the stroller there. Y'all can see them in our magazines. The magazine. Oh, y'all gonna love the 4th of July. Y'all gonna call me. All y'all gonna call me. We got Malcolm X on one, and I think Malcolm X on one, and Frederick Douglass on the other one.
Okay.
Port City Review and Hello Savannah. We'll be in Atlanta pretty soon with Hello Atlanta, and we're hoping to start in Jacksonville there shortly thereafter. But anyway, we want to thank everybody for watching. Y'all share. Call somebody and tell them we touched on everything from Hunter Biden to the Supreme Court to Quando Rondo to Candice Owens to the cat Kansas Authority, and all the way to the documentary 13th. So go look at the 13th, and we also touched on local elections, and we'll get into that a little bit deeper next Wednesday. We're about 7 minutes over right now. So anybody got any last word that needs to be real quick?
Mr. Brown?
All I'm going to say is thank you, all the viewing audience. It's so important. Share. And remember, when people fail, they fail for 2 reasons in community: lack of information and lack of knowledge. We're trying to give you that. And remember, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it opens. Keep what you need and let the rest go. People, thank you. Good night. Share.
And don't forget, we got Mona Lisa Monroe in the morning at 10 o'clock. And then we got Taking the Journey Together at 6. Ebony Sports Reporters at 8. Friday, we got every morning you can catch Litway Missionary Baptist Church except Thursday. And then Friday, we got Financial Sins at 1. Incarceration Incorporation at 6. Score Bigger Dating at 8:30. On Saturday, we got our new shows, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all go back and watch. On Sundays, rather, we got the new shows. Little Known Black History Facts at 5, and From the Hood to the Pulpit at 6. Great shows. We got great new pieces. It'll keep you there watching. Little Known Black History Facts and From the Hood to the Pulpit.
What about
Saturdays? Say what?
Saturday at noon.
I'm about to get that.
Oh, I'm just making sure.
Saturdays, we got the Watchdogs. Y'all make sure y'all go back and watch the last episode of the Watchdogs. I heard it was fire. It was hot. 6 o'clock. That's at 12 noon on Saturdays. The Watchdogs. 6 o'clock, we got Pastor Smalls, Tell It Like It Is, Political Action Committee. Don't y'all miss Pastor Smalls every Saturday at 6 p.m. Every second Saturday, we got Straight Talk with Grover Thornton. Y'all know Grover, he tells it like it is. He's 89 years old, and he's still kicking and telling, got a memory better than anybody I ever seen at that age. And coming back in a couple of weeks, next week, a week after, is America After Dark. Y'all gonna all be hosting. Y'all gonna all be on there. All right. So we don't know what happened to Bernard tonight. He's probably so tired because he got his own little show every morning while he got his patients with him. He's a doctor too, you know. But anyway, we hope y'all tune in, and we will catch y'all on this weekend watching our shows. Okay.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
like that.